Welcome to the Remote by Iggy. The remote allows every button to be uniquely customized to meet your needs. You will design and build a custom remote control from the ground up. Each page of the remote is fully customizable. You will choose a background image and create as many highly customizable buttons per page as you like. Each button can perform one action or multiple actions. For example, one single action would be to turn on the TV, lower the lights, change the volume level of a device, or adjust the thermostat. Or you can create one single button press to perform all of these actions. This video shows a brief introduction of the capabilities of the remote. Let's look at some examples. This first page is inspired by one of the major design goals of the remote, which is a desire to look at remote places rather than the traditional look of a remote. This page only has two buttons. The button at the top left says, "Where do you want to go?" and the button at the top right provides the current time and temperature. When pressed, each button simply navigates to a new page. This page gives 8 choices with a combination of opaque and translucent buttons. The Watch TV button on the top left turns on the TV, sets the correct input, and opens a page that provides all the buttons necessary to control the TV and the satellite receiver. The Goodnight button at the bottom turns off the lights and turns off all lights in the house. The Lights button at the bottom right opens a page that allows individual Insteon light control, scene selection, and execution of program defined on the Universal Devices Insteon controller. Let's look at that page. This screen was designed around the image of a lighted path through the woods. The buttons are grouped into 6 sections and color-coded and placed to blend with the background image. The left side of the screen provides a quick visual status of which lights are on and at what level. The right side of the screen allows scene selection clustered by room area. And at the bottom right, a single button allows turning off all lights by executing a Goodnight program. Let's see these controls in action. Looking at the left side of the screen, we can see that the master ceiling fan is on at 100%. Touching that control brings up a sliding control to adjust the light level. Notice that both the color and percentage on value provide immediate feedback to brightness level of that area. Changing individual lights allows detailed control, but applying scenes allow quicker control with custom ramp rates. Notice what happens to the buttons on the left when the master reading button is pressed. Notice that the 4 buttons depicting lights on the left side of the screen changed in both color and percentage value. Here are a few more examples of adjusting scenes quickly. Notice how most of the lights in the house have adjusted in just a few button presses. Now, pressing Goodnight lights at the bottom right turns almost all of the lights in the house off. A few lights remain on to act as night lights. The ability to control Insteon devices through the Universal Devices controller is far greater than what is presented here. This just shows a glimpse of what can be done. Let's return to the previous page. Now let's watch TV. This screen also promotes the image more than the controls, as some controls are purposely muted and blend into the background. The top left section provides navigation and DVR control of the satellite receiver. At the bottom left, a swipe pad allows swiping up or down to control the volume on the TV. At the top right, number buttons allow channel selection, and predefined channel buttons are listed below. At the very bottom right, there are buttons that open the lights page that we just looked at, as well as the thermostat control page. The center of the screen contains 2 nearly invisible swipe areas that provide additional control of the satellite receiver. For example, swiping left in the center of the screen skips forward 30 seconds, while swiping right skips back 10 seconds, and double tapping pauses the playback. All of the controls on this page are enabled by the Global Cache, iTAC, Flex, and their Control Tower IR database. This database contains over 150,000 IR codes allowing control of thousands of devices including TVs, Blu-ray players, game systems, AV receivers, and set-top boxes, just to name a few. Let's look at the thermostat control page, which is reachable by pressing the time and temperature button at the bottom right. The top left of the screen shows the current temperature for the downstairs thermostat, and the bottom left allows swiping up or down to change the target temperature. The right side of the screen shows temperature and allows control of the upstairs thermostat. This screen, like the others, was purposely designed to promote the image rather than the controls. Now let's look at the Apple TV controls by returning to the previous page. Here's an example of a simple remote with oversized buttons. Now let's take a look at some of the controls available on a network-connected Onkyo AV receiver. In order to show this, let's open another remote. This is another remote with a different look and feel. For this video, we'll just go to the Onkyo screen. This page shows an image of an Onkyo receiver in the background. Several buttons below allow direct selection of various favorite sound modes. The volume knob on the right can be swiped up or down to increase or decrease the volume. And the buttons at the bottom right allow navigation of the setup menus on the Onkyo. Many more buttons can be added for custom control on Onkyo AV receivers. This concludes this quick overview. More details about how to create these pages can be found at iggyhead.com. Thank you.